If we lose the U.S. housing market, we lose everything. Hey everybody, Scott Walters, buckle up, strap in. I got a hard-hitting, pull no punches, no sugarcoating it, no rainbows, no sunshine. It's going to give it to you and give it to you straight. We got a good one to unpackage today, my friends. If we lose the U.S. housing market, guess what happens? You guessed it. We lose everything. It's like a vacuum that pulls the whole economy into a massive, severe, a deep cycle. Recession. We've always had them, booms and busts in the housing market. We just went through a very artificial with the zero organic growth boom cycle. So mathematically, we're screwed just on mathematics alone. Historical data, history, cycles. We've always had them. Unfortunately, most generations, it's usually generational. Cycles can be generational. They can just come and go as they please. But this one was ushered in courtesy of a health crisis and an overstimulation of not only one economy, the world's economy. So buckle up and strap in. Anybody who doesn't think that this one could have significant repercussions on so many different levels. Here at this channel, because yours truly happens to work in real estate owner, real estate landlord, real estate agent, you name it, real estate salesman. I've been in and around real estate my whole life, but more than any of that, trained in the psychology of people, the psychology of sales. And like we've heard before, the great Warren Buffett, this is what we did when we saw that greed sweeping the markets. Be greedy when others are fearful when others are greedy. That was the time to be fearful when we saw all that greed. So, man, aren't you glad right about now? You might have played it safe. And if you didn't, if you suffered from that greed, from that euphoria, from that herd mentality, from that FOMO, you're going to learn a very important lesson. I just hope, I really do, that some of you got out with some of your wealth. They didn't get evaporated. But the realities we've talked about when it comes down to the psychology of people, anytime there's a recession, herd mentality kicks in again, and people start to recess. Even if they're financially fit, they'll spend differently. But the realities are the best time to invest is when there's blood in the streets, and the streets are starting to run red. Have you taken a peek at Austin, Vegas, Phoenix, Miami, Boise? You name it. Throw a dart at an economic map, and you're going to hit a city that's in big trouble. Insane, right? This stuff's it's shocking. You're living through a historical times. So for me, instantly, I just said, no way. This one will have blowback. The dust will settle, and we will pay the piper from overstimulating the biggest asset class in the world, which brings us back to our topic. You see, the realities are, friends, the real estate industry, you can lose the stock market, and people's investments accounts might collapse, but the housing market might be able to weather that storm. Your crypto account could go to zero, but your real estate might be able to weather that storm. But if you lose the U.S. housing market, all those markets will evaporate overnight. People are desperate for money. And as we see, and as the recession is ushered in, and our target area is the job markets to weaken it, to remove money from circulation, to get people to stop spending. Well, the unfortunate byproduct of that is their homes. That's the biggest expense we have, followed by our cars. And how many people went out and financed new debt in the euphoria, in the stimulus era? And like I've said before, I don't care if you had 0% interest. If you don't have the ability to make your payment, it doesn't matter anymore. You're forced to market. And when over 10 million people bought at the height of a super bubble, but they didn't stop there. They went above and beyond appraised values. That's a big enough number to landslide these markets. And with contagion now going to play a bigger factor in this downturn, it'll be quicker, it'll be faster, it'll be more severe, it'll be something. Because now we're all connected to our devices. We're a slave to our devices. Our habits are completely dictated by our devices. In the '08 era, sure, we had some smart devices, but it was nothing like we're seeing now. They've got us, we're a complete slave to our devices. We wake up and we just go right to that thing and start checking all the latest headlines. Listen, friends, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this one out. See, that's why I love real estate being the path to wealth. It's a tangible asset, not a coin, not a digital asset, not a crypto, not a stock. It's a physical asset, land, tangible, that people can't take from you. Unless you bought in the height and you can't make your payment, it's going to get taken from you. Here's the challenge. We know how fragile the banking system is right about now. They're panicking because they drank the Kool-Aid too. Everybody drank the Kool-Aid. And that's for me. As a grown man, I saw other grown-ups telling me, this time is different. This time's a great time. There's only a few. The great billionaire Warren Buffett. Be fearful. Fearful right now. People are greedy. And that's why I've reported. You saw Amazon, Jeff Bezos sell off a bunch of his stocks. Tesla, Musk sold off a bunch of his stocks. Warren Buffett sell off a bunch of his stocks. They're all heavier in cash. And here's the challenge. Moving forward, friends, the last thing to go is going to be the housing market. And all intents and purposes and signals and warning signs show us we're on borrowed time. And if we start losing those Miamis, those Vegas, those Denvers, those Boise's, just to name a few, they're going to drag the surrounding areas. Right now we're seeing the West Coast get hit hardest now, front end first, and it's doing it quicker than the last '08 bubble that people continue to want to reference. And I've always said it's a warm-up. This one will be worse because it's a bigger bubble, bigger blowback. Never seen before highs, the quickest bubble ever produced. It's deflating just as fast. I was just talking to one of you, a subscriber, a good friend, August from the Midwest. We helped him buy a property back there before it got too crazy. Top representation. He's like, dude, this is insane. The lender that I was working with, I got a call from their manager to let me know that they've taken over my loan process as the agent that I was working with, thank God, because they were doing a horrible job. And we're going to get your loan funded. And people are just dropping like flies. But congratulations, August. I felt good about your purchase. Like I told you on the phone, your area didn't get overheated. You've got great employment. You've got cash reserves. Your house penciled out. It would rent if it needed to be a rental for what your payment is. A lot of things going for you that aren't going for a lot of other people in those cities I just mentioned. So the realities are this, friends. If and when this thing starts to sweep through America and job losses get worse, this housing market will be a vacuum, just taking jobs along for the ride much quicker than a stock market collapse, much quicker than a crypto collapse. Everything hinges on the U.S. housing market. It is, in fact, not only the biggest asset class in the U.S., it's the biggest asset class in the world. That's why we had so much investor involvement in this bubble from out of the country, for European investors pouring in. They're all taking a bath because they all drank the Kool-Aid. We've reported on the empty office buildings. We're seeing the empty apartments. We're seeing the tax sales. We're seeing the people upside down on their bubble purchases. We're seeing everything needed to tell us it's being ushered in, possibly intentionally. I've always said, I don't know if it was on accident. I don't know if it was on purpose. We'll get out of the problem in the solution, but the realities are it's playing out. In final thoughts, I come to you as a friend, as a content creator. Somebody wants to see not only win in real estate, win in life. Understanding the biggest artificially created housing bubble ever produced in world history couldn't sustain itself. It's going to be a vacuum. It's going to accelerate the whole downturn. It's going to accelerate the recession. I'm not here to scare people. I'm here to let people know this is the clear and present danger that's facing us now. And it all circles back to the crisis. We overheated the biggest asset class in the world and people drank the Kool-Aid. We all wanted it to be normal. Even I did, but I just knew there was no way it would. So all I could do at that point was put people on the sidelines and tell them, I'll earn your business later if you want to sit this one out. I'll continue to do that. We'll continue to look at properties like August to see if they pencil out. If they make sense, we'll test it with an offer. If not, like that's what our agents are designed to do. Talk to the selling side, see if they're getting any offers. If they're not, let's test it with one. If they're getting offers and we don't like what we're seeing there, we're off to the next. There's zero urgency to go race out and buy right now. Time is on your side. take a deep pause, take a deep breath, get centered and surrounded with the right people, and I promise you will come out all right. But I'm going to continue to heat map, temperature check this thing every step of the way because it's not only what we need, it's in fact what we deserve. If you appreciate the content, I want to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Social media links in the description of this video if you'd like to contact me there, along with links to channels I've appeared on I think you might enjoy. If you need help buying or selling real estate here in America, I have the biggest network of top-rated agents in the nation ready to assist you. It'd be our honor and our privilege to do so. Email in the description for you as well. Also, if you're watching from your television set today and you enjoyed this video, I know you're going to love the next video. And there's an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Please go make it count today. I'll see you on the next video.